everybody. Lots of great things going on. And you know, Mitch, that was a great presentation. That was I mean, it is, you know, it's one of those things where you've got to experience something like that. And once you start experience things like that, you want to experience more things like that. And it just kind of escalates and escalates and escalates. So,
hey, Chuck, you want to know something? Just real quick. Do you know I looked for Larry Boston a number of years back, and I found out that he had passed away. Because he was an old guy back in the day.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure he had to be in his late 80s or 90s, but never got to thank him.
Yeah.
Never got to thank him, and I sure wish I would have had that chance.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you know, I think that this little piece right here is kind of appropriate, right? Only those who can see the invisible can do the impossible.
Almost as if that slide was planned.
Huh?
It's almost as if it was planned to be the next slide.
Right. Yeah. And we haven't even talked this morning. So, so anyway, hey guys, you know what I want to talk about. You know, some of the things that that I take for granted. I think that everybody already knows, and then I discovered that they don't know it. And so, you know, I want to spend some time talking about the science and the art. The science and the art. You know, the science is the how-tos, right? Those are the ABCs. Those are the things that pretty much everybody can figure out if they think about it and they just kind of follow some instructions. And you know how to do this. You know a little bit about the comp plan and so on and so forth. The dynamics or the art side of the business is a little bit more obscure, right? I mean, it's a little bit more obscure, and it really takes an understanding and being exposed to that, and not only being exposed, but being explained as you're being exposed. So, you know, if you've not really paid attention to the art of network marketing, I'm going to do my best to fill the shoes of a dear friend who was my mentor. I mean, I'll show you something that he sent me the other day. You know, he complimented me on some of the things that I was teaching, because he happens to sit in on a lot of these things and gets on my email list and so on and so forth. And he said, you paying attention in all of those classes. Yes, I was. I was just not taking notes. I was actually paying attention. You know, the art form of the business is unrelated, but, you know, still kind of connected to the science. The reason we, the two of us, the person I'm talking about, you'll get to meet him in a second, made such a dynamic team was because I was the person behind the science, the mechanics. I mean, I understood everything that there was to know. He learned the art and the dynamics of the business from someone, the only billion-dollar earner in the network marketing industry. And so, you know, what he taught was something very, very special. So, you know, you learn that, you know, taking your message. Now, guys, we all know that, you know, there's a left brain and a right brain, right? And women are wired differently than men, right? And
oh, yes, they are, Chuck.
Right, that they take the message beyond logic. Guys happen to be more logical, right? They're more, you know, well, here's the numbers, you know, why can't you get it? Are you dumb? You know, and women don't do that. They take their reasoning to a different level. And so when you can, and that's why women are so good in this business, quite frankly. I mean, almost my entire second business that I built, that Mitch was part of, was a lot of women. I mean, I would say 60%, at least 60%. So taking your message, and guys, this is something that we all have to learn. The other part of the art, and there's so many different facets of the art of the business changes when the business moves from your head to your heart, right? Now it's all logical, now it's all emotional, right? And when that happens, and it's happened to me a long time ago. I care more about somebody's success sometimes than they do, and I tend to show that. Right? I tend to be disappointed. I tend to be, emotional when somebody says that they're going to quit. I go, oh no, you can't quit on me. Come on, let's and let's have that heart-to-heart talk. Because I know if they only stayed here long enough, they would get it, right? So the business moves from your head to your heart. So the point that really is the transition point is when you're not in the business, but the business is in you. You're not in the network marketing business, but you're a part of the network marketing industry, right? So, and that all comes with belief. It all comes with belief. It comes with success. It comes with, and a lot of people say, well, it's easy for you to, think like that. No, it wasn't. It wasn't easy for me to think like that. But I knew that if I stuck with it long enough, I'd figure it out. And that business that I, became a part of would now become a part of me. So stay here, play the long game, and you're gonna benefit tremendously. I always loved when he always talked about being in the zone. Tiger Woods is in, when he plays golf, he gets in the zone, right? When people do things that are, amazingly good at doing something, they get in the zone, right? They get 100%. I was talking to Mitch the other day. One of the guys who we both know got left a job. I don't know if it was his decision or somebody else's decision. And I said, oh, good. They made the decision for him, right? Then now he can devote full time to really doing something that will not only make him a lot of money, but it'll change his life. It is when you start, you sing a different tune, right? It's all about, when people know that you're on the right track, your whole demeanor changes, right? You shift, and your whole outlook changes, your words change, the way you present it changes, and that's when you can tell that you're in the zone. Your music is playing, and people will come from miles around to listen to that music and watch you play it. So there's a whole training on this, but one of the things that he always talked about was, what's the most important part of the car, right? Or you could say the most important part of anything, right? Airplane, whatever, right? And a lot of people would say, well, it's this, it's the steering wheel, it's this, it's that, but really and honestly, the most important part of the car is the part that you're missing, right? The part that you're missing. So you're driving down the highway, you're going a little bit faster than normal, like I do, and, somebody forgot to put on one lug nut. Guess what? That just became the most important part of the car, because if the rest of the lug nuts come off because that one was left off and you have a wreck and kill yourself, guess what? That was the most important part of the car. So, the most important part, I'm going to get to that, what I think is the most important part of this industry. This is the guy that taught me everything having to do with the art of the business. Michael Kelly. So here's a little blurb that he sent me the other day, and I want you guys to kind of look at that, and I'll move this stuff out of the way. Your journey and the price that you paid. I know your strengths and yes, your shortcomings. And how dare he say shortcomings, right? However, the good far outweigh the bad. Your head and business acumen is very strong and solid. Your heart is even better. If a person can see beyond the sporadic verbal jabs and negative impulses that I admit are sometimes hard to do, they will see the core, right? Of you that is a warrior, a great friend, a great advocate. And so that's, you know, he said, yeah, I know Chuck Hansen better than most people. And so it was interesting to get that. So Michael had a stroke about a year ago and is in the process of recovering. So he's about, you know, but he was hell-bent on recovering. And he's about 80% there, and very soon he will be 100%. And then he'll be on here teaching us. So, so I'm looking forward to that day, and we communicate all the time. He keeps me on track. He sends me text messages, and he, you know, he's definitely a wordsmith. And so for those of you, I hope that you get a Michael Kelly in your life at some point in time along the way. So let's talk about the art form, right? Wealthy people build networks. Average people simply look for work. One of those things that, I mean, I'm going to give you some power words. I'm going to give you some things that I want you to start incorporating into your vocabulary, into your communication, because we all know that words are powerful and they depict certain images. So you got to start using those powerful words that depict the right images, right? One of the things that I love, and Michael reminded me about it, is growth engine, right? We always talked about a growth engine, and what is a growth engine? People will say, well, what's a growth engine? You know, it's a system that creates duplication. A system that creates duplication, not just addition, but multiplication. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Automate your success. Everybody loves automation, right? Everybody wants to have push button success. And, you know, we've got to be able to talk a little bit about, you know, automation. The one, I love this one, the place of most potential. You know, you need to land in the place of most potential. I think it's Valentis, right? I honestly and truly believe that this is the place of most potential. That's why I'm here. If it wasn't, I probably wouldn't be here. But, you know, when you start to incorporate some of these words, some of these things into your conversation, your emails, your daily conversation, a lot of people are going to gravitate and respond to those words. Measurable, predictable outcome. Love it. Predictable has always been one of those words that I love, right? I mean, I want a predictable path. I want a, you know, measurable outcome, right? I don't want to be wandering around in the jungle, not knowing what in the world to do. And that's what most people have done, right? They just wander around, bump here, you know. I don't know if anybody ever played pinball, but, you know, it reminds me of what most people do. They just kind of pop here and go over here and, you know, fall in this hole and jump out and you know, that's not a predictable, measurable outcome, right? You know, yeah, you might hit a home run, but you might fall into the trap. So multiplication versus addition. Guys, that's when your organization, you know that something magical has happened to your organization because you're not adding people, your numbers are multiplying, and you're seeing proof. And it all has to do with having a sustained momentum phase. And on the next session, we'll talk about sustained momentum phase. A success machine. Hey, we've got a success machine. And, you know, everybody would love to know what it was. So your job, your mission is to tell everybody about this success machine called Valentis, right? We are system driven, not talent driven. You can't have a long-term viable momentum phase if you're talent driven. You see, I don't have Mitch's talent. Mitch doesn't have my talent. But together, we can do some amazing things, right? So, you know, it's not about individual talents. It's like my good friend, Marshall Silver. Marshall is the most talented person I've ever met in my life. And, but, you know, he can't be duplicated. He's a unique individual. So, and so unless he builds a system that duplicates his talent, you know, that talent will one day, you know, be over with. So system driven. And you know what? I'm not going to play TD Jakes today, but, you know, it does take courage to go after your dreams. It takes courage to stand up when the wind is howling, when the storm is raging, when, you know, people are laughing at you, when they're ridiculing you. And it's not strangers for the most part. It's always your family, right? It's those people that care the most about you because they don't want you to get hurt. And, you know, I said, hey, you know, I'm going in this direction. If you want to go with me, that's fine. If you don't want to go with me, I'll go it alone, right? But I'm going in this direction. Oh, how do you know you can do it? Because other people have already done it, right? When the first person ran the 4-minute mile, said it couldn't be done. Can't ever do that. Well, now thousands of people have done it, right? Until then, it was not possible. So I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Each product has a BV, and that's what we get paid based on. The second way to get paid is with our Fast Start bonus. When you bring someone into Valentis and they buy products for the first time, you earn a 40% commission of the BV value when they buy the 1, 3, or 6 box package option. That Fast Start bonus is 25% if they buy the 16 box Business Builder package, because we offer another 25% in our third way to get paid, our Legacy Coded bonus. That's a whopping 50% combined commission, all by simply sharing this simple system. When you personally sponsor only 3 people who purchase the $499 Business Builder package, you're now Legacy Code qualified. So you'll earn a $200 bonus on every $499 purchase, from your 4th person through infinity. The best part is that every one of those is now part of your Legacy Code. So when they sponsor their first 3 to get themselves qualified, you'll get $100 on each. And as each of those new people get their 3 Legacy Codes.
I found that the other day and decided to upload it here and let you guys see it. I've sent it over to Nate over at Sound Concepts to edit and change a few things in here and take out a few things so that we can add it to the app, right? Again, very simple way to explain the compensation plan that everybody can get, right? Oh, that's how easy it is. Okay, I get that. I can send that to somebody. So so that's in the process of being done. I just wanted to let you know that. The other thing that's being done, hey, hello and welcome. My name is Chuck Hansen, and what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is give you a business plan, a plan that we've taken the compensation plan, we've taken the Valentis compensation plan, and we've put it into a business model that revolves around purchasing a business builder pack, $600 and enrolling one person a month. So we've taken and compiled all the components, and we'll show you exactly what the compensation plan will pay over the course of the next 12 months. So let me get right to that. Again, you buy a business builder pack, you try 3 products every month, and you enroll one person every month.
You guys have seen that before. I've done it.
Hey, hello and welcome. My name is Chuck Hans.
It's a little over 3 minutes, and so that again is being added to the app, so that we've got something that shows the compensation plan in a setting, right? You know, something that people can relate to. Oh, one a month. Oh, I can do one a month. That's what we want people to say, right? I can do that. I can do that. And if you can do that, then you have a measurable, predictable outcome at the end. And so that's where we're going. We released the Genie. I got it, and I've already sent it out to you guys, but you got some, yesterday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a text from Rick Cotton, and he says, hey, we got it going. We got the landing page. We were waiting for the Valentis programmers to finish up the landing page for the pre-enrollees. You see, we're diverting them, right? We're diverting them from the normal pre-enrollee page that you guys have seen. And that pre-enrollee page, we're also diverting them from the email sequence that typically go out when somebody goes to your website and they pre-enroll. So we're diverting all of those. And so John and Rick and I are working on what will be the new series of emails, which will really be videos, that will go out to the pre-enrollees, because we're going to take them through that process, right? So yesterday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Rick said, now just keep the expectations under control, because it'll take us about a week to ramp things up and test a few things before the leads will start to dribble in. But then as we continue down the road, more and more and more and more leads will happen. Tuesday night at 7 o'clock East Coast time, we'll have a special training again, so put that on your calendar. Don't want to miss that. There's the Zoom number, which is my phone number. I do that so I can remember what in the heck it is. Mitch taught me that. Thanks, Mitch, for doing that. So, you know, there's a couple of different options. I mean, I talk to people all the time. If you really want to build a team, you got a couple of options, right? You have warm market, you have cold market, or you have the do nothing market. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people think that all they had to do was get started, purchase a business builder package, and all of a sudden the money's supposed to start coming in. No, you know, but, you know, we're going to, and I've never been a big cold market believer, but, you know, now that we've got, you know, the funnel and the process that John has put together, that they basically offer in the hook and all the different videos and everything, this is going to be, I think, will give us a tremendous outcome, and again, a predictable outcome. You know, what I want you to think about for a second is, you know, can you afford $300 a month for the next 12 months? Again, it's that commitment factor, right? Having been in the advertising industry for 16 years, I always encouraged my client to take their advertising budget and extend it, you know, and expand it rather than spending it all in the first quarter. If this is all we've got to spend, let's spend a little each month over the course of 12 months rather than blowing it and then being out of the market for 9 months. So, but you're going to get 45 pre-enrollees each month for 12 months. That's 540 people guaranteed. Now, Dave and was talking about conversion factors. He thinks a 10% conversion is going to be great. I spelled that wrong, but it could be higher, right? I've made a fortune in the follow-up because I understand the process. I understand that it's not an event. It's a series of small exposures over a period of time that move that person from, I'm sorry, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I'm too busy. All of those things. A good friend of mine called me the other day and he said, you know what? He said, I'm the victim of procrastination. And I said, Pat, what do you mean? He said, he said, you went and over the last 2 years, he said, I joined the day after you did. And he said, I was too busy. I didn't pay attention. And he said, you went and made almost 600 grand over the last 2 years, and I didn't make anything. And he said, so that was a great lesson. And it is a great lesson. And he's still here. And now he's plugged in and he's engaged because he now sees the potential. So congratulations, Pat. So, hey guys, starter options. Here's where we're moving people, right? We're not going to give them the option of buying a $59 product. However, you can. We're going to talk to them about a 6-pack, a builder pack, and a career pack. And we decided to do this triplicate of choice because the safe, bet is that most people gravitate toward the center package, right? In fact, I learned this from Tom Hopkins many, many years ago, of having a triplicate of choice and how people, if you want them to really buy something, you stick it in the middle, whatever it is. And, show them this house, show them this house, and show them this house. They go, oh, I like the one in the middle. And he says, inevitably, it's always that way. I think my closing average is going to be relatively high. I know that if I've got 540 good, qualified, halfway interested people, that I'm going to get the vast majority of them, I say 135 of them, to say yes, to some degree. Now, to some degree. Now, whether or not that will be, at the Business Builder Pack is we're yet to be seen, right? But what I wanted you to think about is, what is it? I mean, we've got to, and everybody has to, that when you have somebody brand new, you want your advertising dollars to come back to you, right? Self-liquidating. You want to make more money from your expenditure than you spent, right? I mean, that's the idea of advertising, right? So, you spend $300, you get 45 people. Let's say only 4 people, 10% say yes. Okay, yes to what degree? Yes to a $20 one product, maybe it's 160, maybe it's 240, maybe it's 400, maybe you're legacy qualified, and those 4 people say, hey, I'm going for that Business Builder Pack, and you make $800, right? So all of those things are possible, but you know what I like about, 10% is that you've got 41 people that are still in the process. They haven't said no, they haven't opted out. They're still in the process, and we're going to keep drip and drip and dripping on them and educating them, because most people really don't understand what network marketing is all about. Had I not have gone to a meeting, 33 years ago and saw it with my own 2 eyes, I wouldn't have understand. I wouldn't have gotten the big picture. Let's look at this growth engine for a second. Let's say you've got 10 members that say, hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy $300 every month, $300 every month. That's 540. That's 5,400 people that'll come into your organization over the course of the next 12 months, right? That'll be pre-enrolled. What if you had 50? That's 27,000. What if you had 100 people on your team that are doing it? And it's just a matter of time. I mean, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen over time, right?
First you'll have 4, and then they'll have 8, and then you'll have 12, and so on and so on. You know, you'll get to 100 if you stay in there long enough, and that's when your growth goes from addition, adding people, to multiplication, and you know, the ability to create that massive duplication. And that's when the money comes in so quickly, you know, that you can't hardly spend it all. So, Mitch, you know, surround yourself with those who are on the same mission as you, right? And that's what it is every Saturday. You know, we're gaining more numbers every Saturday because we're all on the same mission, right? We all want to go down the same path. So, you know, this little hour that we spend together, maybe something will happen, right? Something, you'll pick up something. It'll be one of those aha moments, right? So come and spend some time with you. Hey, Mitch, there's one more slide I want to show.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You were talking about starts with commitment, right? You know, without commitment, you'll never start, and without discipline and consistency, you're never going to finish the race. So how committed are you? Have you bought a business builder pack? You max out the compensation. You know, the commitment is 12 months. If you can't commit, don't start. I mean, I tell people that all the time. If you can't commit, don't start, because it's not going to work. If you're going to try it for 3 months, if you're going to try it, you know, no, don't waste my time, right? You got to put in some effort. You got to get trained. You got to follow the plan. You got to be teachable. You got to be coachable. You got to create a 100 BV loyalty purchase. You know, and yes, you can go in there. Yeah, people say to me, oh, I didn't want to create a loyalty purchase because I purchase something different every month. Well, oh, you can go into your loyalty purchase and change it, you know, but it's there in case you forget. Create an ad budget, you know, for the next 12 months. If it's $100, great. If it's $200, it's great. If it's $300, but create that budget. And then share your decision with other people in your life, right? Because here's what happens. If you do that, you're going to go out on a limb, right? You're not gonna want to retract, you know? So tell people your goals, your dreams, and what's going on. There's what has happened to me over the course of the last 2 years. You know, could I have done better? Yeah. Could I have done worse? Yeah. It is what it is, but my return on investment was over 12,000%. So it's not bad. And you know, Mitch, like you said,
nice.
you gotta go drive cars, right? You gotta go drive a car.
Looks like my car, Chuck. What is that?
That's an Aston Martin.
Oh yeah, my car was obviously patterned after an Aston Martin. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So if you've never driven one, go drive one. They probably, I mean, it's hand built, right? And I've been helping John. I told John, I said, you
can help John spend his money.
Right. I said, John, you need one of these. He said, I'm really not a car guy. I said, I know, but it's just, you know, you got to show up in Las Vegas. When you go and meet somebody for lunch, you got to show up in your Aston Martin, and they won't move it from the front of the wherever. If you have valet, they'll park it right there, right? They'll park it right there. So go drive one. They're incredible cars. So that's it, you know?
All right. Well,
that's it. That's
Chuck,
it for me.
I'll tell you something. Everybody needs to go do that. Go look at your dream house. Go drive your dream car, you know, because it's possible. And you got to get your brain kind of, I don't know, that's just kind of the way my brain works. But great advice. Thanks, Chuck. Great training. There's a company call coming up here in a little bit, in about 30 minutes, 25 minutes, with Crown Ambassador John Haremza. Make sure you're on the text alert system, which is text the word prevail to 76000. All right. People are texting me all the time. What time is the call? What time is the call? Well, if you were on the text alert system, you wouldn't have to ask, right? All right, so there's company call. Here's our regular training schedule. Okay, now we'll do a special on Tuesday, as Chuck said, a special training for, you know, those that are involved with the Blue Ocean Co-op. And then also, if you are part of that or want to be, you definitely should be on the Blue Ocean Co-op Facebook page. All right, no, it's a secret page. Nobody knows about it. You can't search it. So if you want in on that, where the videos and things are going to be posted and stuff to help you with that aspect of the business, be sure to be on the Blue Ocean Co-op Facebook page, but you have to be added or invited. Okay.
So they should just, somebody should just get to me or get to you.
Yeah, we can add people. If you're in the group, you can add somebody. And by the way, you don't have to be friends with them on Facebook. You can, if you have their email address, you can put that in the bar as well to invite somebody. Okay, so make sure that you're on there if you want to be. You know, I would just say, you know, we can all do this. This is not rocket science. You know, what I learned years ago is it's just, as Chuck said, it's a process, it's a system, and if you'll just submit to it and stop trying to do it your own way, it'll work. And that's the bottom line, right? So I'm going to go ahead and end with a traditional get your popcorn, little short video here. This is the one that I play in the beginning sometimes, but I really like it. So enjoy. I look forward to seeing you sometime in the future or on the next training. God bless and take care. Here we go.